All right, we're live back for what is it? Friday, 13 gamer. Jeez, what a hefty amount. We're gonna have to dive into this slate. It's just gonna be me solo today. Taylor's at the beach. I'll be leaving for the beach tomorrow. Excited about that. Gonna spend most of the week there. Gonna be dialed in though. We have a big week upcoming, so we have a big 888 on this slate again. So pretty excited to see what we can do here. What kind of good advice I can shell out. 13 games, so really you don't have to get contrarian per se, right? If you've seen any ownership, it's going to be mitigated just based on the slate overall. So let's go ahead and look. I'm just going to follow Statcast today. Obviously, just myself. I usually like to have it running in the background when Taylor and I are talking, right? This is a lot of times we jump on here first look, and today is going to be a little bit more than just first look. So I really just want to focus on what I'm looking at and maybe get spots to dive into. FYI, also there's a little bit of rain today on some of these games, and it's kind of scared me off of some pitching spots, but we'll talk about that when we get there, right? We have Mizorowski staring us in the face at 13K, which is I can't remember the last time on a DraftKings slate of pitchers was 13K. I have to go to the history books, but I just can't remember a time where that was actually the case. Yeah, so let's go ahead and jump in. Looking at the first game of the slate, once again, I'm just going to follow Statcast. Let's look at first the Nationals visiting the Orioles. Saw a little weather in this game. Looked like it's going to be just fine though. We have Andrew Alvarez on the mound. Obviously, look at this. This profile is nothing special for the Nationals there. Trevor Rogers, a guy I am a believer in. I think he's going to start trending up, and we've seen hit and miss there, but I think he's going to be overall a little bit better than he's been lately. The Statcast in this guy's obviously okay. Neither pitcher or pitchers I want to play. But yeah, in this spot, it's just pass play. It's going to be a pass spot. We know Orioles Park is playing up for bats. So if you told me this was on the winning, in the 888, that's kind of where my focus is tonight. Single entry 888. That's where I'm going to allocate all my dollars. But I don't think I'm going to play this spot. But I totally get it. Right? Rogers hasn't been who he was last year. Alvarez is a young guy. Don't expect much out of him. Right. So these two lefties on the mound obviously get the righties in. Mead for the Nationals been an absolute lefty masher. We saw him hit Sanchez last night as well. So that's a guy that, I think people are going to gravitate to just in a good spot here. I'm just not going to do it. Right. I'm an isolated builder. So I want to really make sure my stack kind of align with what I'm looking for. And when we play Mizorowski, and I'm actually looking at paying up SP2 as well tonight, it's going to be really, really bleak. For salary, but there's a couple of spots I really love for value. So that's all I have in this game. Pretty much going to be a pass for me. Let's jump. Oh, skip one. Let's jump to the next game. I really like this game as well. We have the Rangers visiting the Blue Jays. I think it's Evaldi on the mound. He came back from a little bit of a knee tweak. Seems like it's fine, and I do like him in this spot. The Patrick Corbin, obviously lefty, not very good. Has a little bit of problems against righties. Right, been better against lefty this year, and actually has had an okay season for gas can standards. But for me in this spot, I do like some of these righties for the Rangers. Obviously, Langford swinging a hot stick. For him though, it's not the underlines aren't great, but the guy's pull air rate's amazing. He looks really comfortable with the plate, and he has a lot of tools. The upside, right? Can run, can steal. So I do like him. I like Josh Jung. I like Foscue. If Foscue's in the lineup at 3K at second base, I do like that a lot. There's a little bit of risk there, right? The risk is he could get platooned for, and we never want that. Like having a guy that only gets 2 at bats is never good. So yeah, I really do like the Rangers here. On the Blue Jays side, I'm really just not sure what to do here. I want to play Evaldi and see if he can kind of work his way through this lineup, but I want to make sure we get some guys in the lineup that do strike out. Right, we know Okamoto strikes out, and he's kind of a Jekyll and Hyde bat where he can hit a home run and really get to you or strike out. And playing a pitcher against him, I like that kind of bat profile because I think Evaldi's stuff's been playing pretty well this year. The rest of this lineup doesn't strike out much. I mean, look at these strikeout rates are so good. 10% for Vlad is, obviously great, but Clement 10%. I mean, look at even Volsho at 19%. That's impressive. Springer 19%. Jimenez 19%. So I really do like Evaldi. I just have to acknowledge there's some risk here. But I think I just might play him. I think the park is kind of a neutral park as far as bats go. So I think we're good to go there. Let's keep on moving on though. We have the next one. Like we have Gallen, who's been the worst pitcher by all metrics in baseball from the NL here. with qualifying starting pitchers, that is, for the innings. He's on the mound for the Diamondbacks. Nick Martinez is a guy that's just a hard worker on the mound for the Rays. Not a guy I like from DFS, but a guy I just don't want to pick on with bats. The guy just gets through a lineup pretty smoothly. I just don't think there's a lot of upside here. So another game we're just gonna pass on. I think Gallen can find his stuff and be relatively competent. And I say that, and he's probably gonna get shelled again. But the Rays, I just don't like playing. I mean, outside of Caminero, Aranda Diaz, why do you play them, right? You can play that Chandler Simpson might get on still, but he's been getting caught stealing a little bit too much for me. So for me, it's a pass game. It's an easy pass, 13-game slate. I'm isolating my build on the 888. As far as these first three games we talked about, it's really going to be that Texas side. I'm really looking to hammer, and that's another money line bet I've already placed as well today. And on that, I really do like that spot a whole lot. So in this game, just give me a pass. I really don't know how to read this. I think if I was a betting man, I'd probably bet the Rays side. Obviously, I can't trust Gallen at this point in time, but I can see this game definitely going under the projected total here. So just a pass from DFS, and that's really what I want to talk about today. So let's go to the next game. This is another game that has a little bit of weather. And I just don't know what I wanted to do with it, right? Like Luis Castillo was a guy I was picking on, won me a GPP early in the season, kind of fixed, right? I mean, I maybe righted the ship a little bit, but I still don't trust him. I mean, he's just on the back half of his career, can get hit hard at times. That being said, they've been, piggybacking these guys. So I just don't know if I want to even go to that spot. We know Jose Ramirez is out. That's a big hole in the Guardians lineup. So in that perspective, I just don't know if you want to play Luis, even with that kind of watered down lineup. Cantillo last game out had his best start of the season. Got a lot of whiffs in that start, had a good strikeout rate. But again, I just don't want to play these lefties against Seattle. I think they're getting better. Cantillo is in the player pool at 7-4, though, for sure. Like, if you play Cantillo, you're like, you know what? He's going to be good enough. This lineup for the Mariners, you look at these guys to the left here in StatCast. I mean, a lot of these guys that are getting, a lot of these races like Canzone and Rayleigh are just lefties. They're just not going to be as good in this spot. So, obviously, Julio, Randy, Cal Raleigh being back is Cal Raleigh's numbers are just not good. But for me, I'm not gonna prioritize this game whatsoever in any form or fashion. I just want to, say if you have Cantillo on your single entry and everything there, I do want to make sure that is an option because it's a good play. I mean, in the 13 game, looking at the pitchers, like there's not a lot of good options. I mean, what is that? 26 pitchers, starting pitchers on the slate. There's just not a lot of great options. So 7-4, I think he offers some safety that could easily get you 15 floor points in this spot. And I wouldn't hate it. I'm kind of looking for more upside. And I think Evaldi gives me a little bit more upside. But I could be wrong about that. Absolutely. So let's go to this next game. We have Phillies visiting Mets. Wheeler on the mound for the Phillies. I know the Mets are running out a young guy. I have to pull him up. I know it's not on StatCast right now. But the guy, I think he's 6K. Once again, you don't want to play prospects against the Phillies. The Phillies can mash anyone. It is, in New York, Pitchers Park. So I don't want to make that a priority. And it won't be a priority for me. I really wanted to find a way to get Wheeler and Mizorowski in. The problem with Wheeler and paying $11K for him is just like, looking at him head-to-head versus Evaldi and some of the other spots is like, man, $11K is a lot for a team he's faced a lot in his career and a team he just faced his last start out. And it was fine. Not great, but fine. And a lot of these guys, like, Soto hits Wheeler pretty hard. So there's a little bit of concern at 11K that we play him and he gets under 20. That's just not acceptable at 11K. So for me, I'm just not going to do it on this slate. This is going to be another pass game. I wanted to get to Wheeler and Mizorowski, and I could make that work with the stacks I'm on. I think there's a lot of value, and we'll talk about the team here shortly, but I just don't know if I'm going to do it here. I know the Mets just know Wheeler. They know what he throws. His stuff's a little bit down. His underlines are still great. So I understand the Wheeler play. But for me, I just don't think I'm going to do it on the 888 tonight. So for me, it's just a pass in this game altogether. Let's go to another. This is another very interesting game. The Yankees visiting the Red Sox. We have Will Warren on the mound for the Yankees, Tolley on the mound for the Red Sox. Both these pitchers are good. I just don't know if I want to play them in this spot, in this competitive matchup, right? We know it's one of the most competitive division rivals in all of baseball. So I don't really want to play it in the spot. I mean, the Red Sox lineup has been putrid, but Will Warren can be up and down. Do I really want to prioritize this game? The answer is no, obviously. I think both guys can be serviceable, but do they carry the same upside? Let me correct my statement. I think both guys can be serviceable, but there is also upside, right? If you tell me one of the winning GPP pitchers come from this game, I'll be like, that makes sense. I think Tolley's the type of guy, and the numbers are great, but he's the type of guy that would get up and just could absolutely shove in this spot. I don't think I have the conies to do it. I probably don't have the conies to do it just because this Yankee lineup is, even without Judge, is just be a problem, right? We do have strikeout rates here. Obviously, Spencer Jones a lot, 42%. Give me that strikeout. I mean, he can have the golden sombrero, right? We have Ben Rice still 23%, Jazz 27, Wells 27. So there is strikeout rates here, but there's also a lot of scary pop, right? We see obviously Dominguez is in that lineup now. We have Ben Rice. We have tons of guys that could just absolutely get to him. So and his pitch count is not. This is really where the line was wrong. He just doesn't have the same, I guess, length in him that Evaldi could have. Evaldi's type of pitcher where he could go 9. And we see this time and time again. So for me, I'm not going to do it. Totally get the spot here. I'm not playing bats in this game. I think it is going to be an under game for me. But I'm just this is not whatsoever a focus for me. Let's go to the next game. This is a game I really do like and really want to focus on tonight. I'm sorry. I'm looking at Steve Cruz. I think it's Mitch Spence as the long arm. For the Royals here, I just want to confirm that because I hope so, because I really like the White Sox tonight. I think the White Sox offer so much value. Till's back up, and I'm going to go back to the stack in just a second. I just want to pull up. Yeah, we have Mitch Spence long reliever. Yeah, Cruz is just in there to open, which I don't love, right? But let's go back and just look at the White Sox, and I'll talk about some of these bats and the value they offer on DraftKings here. But yeah, for me, I'm just staying away from the Royals. I mean, it's just Jack Hagg or no one. I think Bobby Witt's going to be back tonight. Don't want to play a guy back from injury. Didn't get any time to get his swing. I mean, it's Bobby Witt, so obviously he could mash in the spot. Sandin's not special. He's pitching for the White Sox, right? And sorry, I didn't mention that, but yeah, he's not valuable in this spot. So for me, it's going to be White Sox. These guys are pretty cheap. So obviously, Braden Montgomery's 3K. We have Antonacci 3K. Ken Ron doesn't have the same bat profile. And even Jacob Gonzalez. This is a guy I really do like at first base. If he gets the nod tonight, 2-3, absolutely give me that value. We need to find a way to fit Mizorowski in. And not so much for the upside, just for the safety, right? I know it's the Cubs. Cubs can be pesky, but the guy, there's not a lot of SPs on the slate where you feel good about. I feel good about Mizorowski giving me 20 points in the spot. And I think there's value at bats here. And Costa Montgomery's a guy I really want to prioritize tonight. I think he could go double down tonight. The Royals have a bad bullpen. Mitch Spence isn't good. So for me, it's going to be absolutely giddy up White Sox. 5-man stack is probably going to be my 888. On the Royals side, like I said, they're interesting because a lot of these bats are just no names. I think Josh Rojas is up now, a guy I always like in the Diamondbacks. Can't believe he's 31 already. So not going to be playing that. I will be playing, like I said, mostly White Sox, but you could talk me into a little Jack Haggs one-off. The guy's just absolutely raking right now. He hits the ball so hard, and I love my best ball bags of pack with that guy. So really happy to have him there. But yeah, other than that, gonna move on from this game. Bats for me all day, and then moving on. This next game is going to be pretty easy to talk about. We have Mizorowski on the mound for the Brewers. Just playing. Maybe he's 13K, and it's just he probably is just worth it at this point, right? If he puts up 50, you're dead. If he puts up 25, you're happy, and you probably need him, right? So it's just one of those things. Even at 13K, there's so many good affordable bats that I think is just fine. Colin Ray on the side for the Cubs. Don't love that. You could totally stack the Brewers here. They're going to get obviously probably leading a lot of this game, so they're going to get probably a worse bullpen, if I had to guess, which is great for the bats. They're just so expensive. I just don't want to do it on the slate. So I really don't want to play any bats in this game. It's just going to be Mizorowski and moving on in this game. So 13K is a lot, and it's a sticker shock for sure, but I think he's worth every penny of it. All right, let's go to, and we're just cruising through these 13 games. Just how this is another game where I just really don't know what to do. Initial thoughts, I did like Taj Bradley. He's on the mound for the Twins. Sugano on the mound for the for the Rockies. Man, I'm tired of picking on Sugano and not working out. And it's like my two least favorite things. Me losing money picking on Sugano, and then the Minnesota Twins, who I just absolutely hate. But I'm just not going to do it. I'm just not going to play any bit of this game, to be honest with you. It's just a pass altogether. I like Bradley, but there's so much Jekyll and Hyde. I just don't think I can do it. Bradley would be the pitcher I play, but if you told me Sugano had a good match, it had a good line at the end of the day, makes sense. I mean, the Twins aren't any good. This game's an under. Both pitchers are not good. Both teams are not good, so I just don't know. It's a pass. It could be absolutely a Fiesta Bowl of absolute garbage teams that just shoots 10 to 12. You're like, why didn't I play this? Of course, that's what's happened. If you had to ask me to gun to my head, bats, it's going to be the Twins, right? Sugano's, I think, far worse than Taj. Taj's stuff is still special. He just can't put it together. So for me in this game, it's just going to be a pass. But if he gun ahead, last guy in, last pitcher in would be Twins, and then Twins bats, and then Bradley there. But let's keep this train moving. So what do we have next? This is a game I really did want to get Meyer in for the Marlins here. Meyer's been so good His underlines are very good. Good striker rate. A little bit of a walk problem. And then Michael McGreevy on the mound for the Cardinals. This game scares me. Everyone says the weather looks fine, but I see a lot of rain. And it really, I know the Cardinals just postponed their last game. Probably don't want to postpone again, but man, there's a lot of risk in starting pitching here, and I wanted Meyer from this game. That's really all I wanted. You can tell me the Marlins were fun. That's good. No, I'm just not stacking the Marlins in 888, just to be quite honest with you. So for me, I'm not going to play this spot. I really wanted to play Meyer over Evaldi, but with a little bit of weather, the head-to-head is just ever so slightly lead me to Evaldi, because if Meyer goes in, pitches 2 innings, they have to delay for 30, 40 minutes. Does he come back out? That's a huge concern here. When you really need that. You need all the juice. You need all the juice. It needs to be to milk properly to win that 888. And I can't have 5 points from a pitcher, so just not going to do it in this spot. Game's going to be a pass altogether. Love Jay Walks. His underlines are still great. Been slumping a little bit, but ups and downs for everyone. That hard hit rate just chef's kiss. So good there. So let's keep this train moving though. Nothing from this game. Nothing I'm going to be on. Speaking of games, I'm not going to be on. This is another one of those games where I think both pitchers are pretty competent. And do we want to play the spots? We have JT Ginn on the mound for the Athletics, and Walbert Arena on the mound for the Angels. Look at these metrics here. I mean, if you can see my screen, everything's pretty good. A little bit of a K minus BB issue for both guys, but the hardest stuff's just not there, right? And maybe that will come if guys are giving up a lot of walks. The hardest will eventually, present themselves. But for me, it's just I see this profile. It's just nothing I want to pick on. Obviously, these top guys, Kurt's always in play. Law Dog, man, did you see that game yesterday? He had multiple big at bats against the Giants there to help them win and pull ahead in the top of the ninth, top of the eighth. So I think he's hitting up. He's going to start getting a spot here, but just not this matchup. So nothing in this game. Pass for me. I don't think this game. I think there's a 1 to 2% likelihood this game's on any bit of optimal in the 888. So just going to be a pass altogether. Let's go to another pitcher's park. We have Saki on the mound for the Dodgers. That pitched a lot better lately. Walker Buehler on the mound for the Padres. Not a very good pitcher. Dodgers know him. Obviously he was very good when he was there. Not the same guy from yesteryear. So I'm not going to play this spot. This is a spot where I think the Dodgers would be really, really sneaky. I don't think they're going to get the ownership they should. This is the problem we have. You can't really 5-minute stack the Dodgers in their best bats and play the Miz, right? So you really have to pick and choose. I'm just the Miz over this for me. I think I'm going to get value with the White Sox and just avoid this spot. So I totally get the Dodgers. I think they're a great contrarian play on the slate. And I think they'll be underowned because of Mizrowski's price tag at $13K. Up and down play, everyone. Obviously, these guys are hitting the piss out of the ball. So totally get this play. On the Padres side, I think Saki's good enough now that I just don't want to play against them. The Padres line just kind of sucks, to be honest with you. I mean, look at Ty France. I mean, I love that guy. I was always a Ty France stan, and finally getting his time in the sun here. I know he's more in a platoon run, but the guy's hitting the ball really well. Jackson Hill has been very much underperforming this season. His underlines are still fine, but I'm not picking on Saki. I think Saki's been a lot better lately. The talent's there. The arm is live. Not going to do it here in this spot. Let's go to the last game on the slate. We have the Braves visiting the Giants. This is another spot where I just, the Braves can win a GPP here, right? I think Trevor McDonald is going to be on the mound for the Giants. StatCast isn't showing right now. Ronaldo Lopez coming back. That's interesting, right? Are we playing Ronaldo Lopez against the Giants? Probably not. I mean, look at that K minus BB. It's just not good. I mean, obviously, Ronaldo Lopez is, once again, not the Ronaldo Lopez of yesteryear. So not going to play him. Great pitcher's park, obviously. And that's kind of the concern about the Braves, right? We want to get these guys, with the opportunities to hit a lot of home runs. And a lot of these guys are built for that, right? And Drake Baldwin coming back up to IL hasn't been the same guy. And just not gonna do it here at all. So for me, going to be a pass game. But once again, we're looking at a few spots. When I look back on the slate, where did I make a mistake? And this is a game where I potentially could have made a mistake, where this game could be higher scoring, kind of a late night hammer. People avoid it. For whatever reason, people always are just suckers for these 7 o'clock games. They want to be in first at the very beginning of the games. And there's nothing worse than being in first and watching your dollars just go down and down and down and down. So I don't want to be in that position, and I never look at the slate in that way. I try to look at my spots and where do I want to target and go from there. But yeah, once again, I think it's sometimes not even that people want to do that. It's generally these San Francisco, Seattle games that are late night, right? And both of these are good pitchers' parks. So that probably makes a little bit of sense as why people don't want to stack those games. But for the Angels, that's a little bit different, right? It's a great hitter's park, and same for the Athletics there. So, it's just a little food for thought. But for me on this slate, it's the White Sox all day. I'm going to live and die with it. If the White Sox put up 15 runs, I mean, I'm going to win the 888. I just have a good feeling about that. And I think there's so much value there. It's White Sox and Miz for me. I'm going to figure out where I'm going to get my other stacks from. I do like the Rangers a lot. It's not going to be sneaky. Everyone knows the stack against Corbin. I want to get Wyatt. I know Wyatt's been a little bit lucky of these home runs, but I love Langford. My best ball bags are packed with that guy. So looking for SB2s. Valdi's going to be my guy. Todd Bradley, obviously a good spot, and then we have Cantillo over there for the Guardians. But other than that, man, that's all I got in the slate. I appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll be back. I know Taylor will be back from the beach here soon. I'll be heading to the beach, but we're going to jump on for some best ball weekend tomorrow. But good luck tonight on the 888. I'll be in the streets with you. If I don't get first, I hope you do. So later.